You're listening to the Orchestra Teacher Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Orchestra Teacher Podcast. This is our episode number 122, and I'm proud to introduce our guests today. Our guests are a team, and they teach at Scullen Middle School. You got to do the fist bump again because I think I missed that on the switchover camera here. This is a team, a wonderful team. They teach at Scullen Middle School in Naperville, Illinois. And I'm proud to welcome Daryl Silberman and Matthew White to the Orchestra Teacher Podcast. Thank you both so much for being here and taking the time out to come and be a part of this.
We are super honored, but we have a question for you.
Uh-oh.
Is your thumb?
Always.
Is your thumb
Always.
red?
That's so great. But, well, thank you for that. So let's go. We'll get started because I know that you sent me some notes of things that you guys do, and it looks amazing. And I want to get everybody to share that, and so everybody can learn how the ultimate ideal team teaching situation works. And you both are smiling now, so that's good. And you agreed to come on together. Actually, I didn't know Matthew, and so I had asked Daryl, and she's like, no, we got to do this together. I'm like, wow, that is fantastic. So tell us a little bit about I guess each of you. So maybe Daryl start and Matthew come in next, about like your background a little bit and all the places you've been and the great things you've done.
Great, thank you. So I'm a little bit older than Matt. I started a million years ago. I was my degrees are in viola performance, and I thought I would be in a symphony at some point, but I always loved doing private teaching. So I was in a acoustic folk rock band, and we got endorsed by a big company, and the company had a little subsidiary called Nilling String Instruments.
Oh, okay. I know Nilling, yeah.
Yeah, so I did clinics in the 90s and aughts, traveled all around the country, went to 26 different states, was in schools, and did all this crazy stuff. And I would always go into schools thinking, gosh, I could never public school teach. Those are amazing saints that do that stuff. Well, eventually I ended up getting an opportunity when I had two small children and was off the road to go into public school teaching. And they took a risk and hired me in Salem, Oregon. Okay. And I sort of cut my teeth on a job there. It was a fabulous position with, like, I call it like orchestra in a box, band in a box, chorus in a box. You just sort of do your thing. And after 6 years there, I had known the people here in Naperville, our mutual friend Brad File, and the former director at Nico Valley, and different people, Dick Bauer, and different people in this area. And my husband and I, with our young family, had decided to move to the Midwest if I could get a job here. So I got hired at Waubonsie Valley High School. It's a high school. We have a huge high school, 3 high schools in the district. I went from teaching by myself in a district with 6 slightly smaller high schools to learning how to collaborate, teaching in a high school where the middle school and high school, we have a dual technique curriculum program in our district.
Okay.
All students who take instrumental music have 2 full-time teachers. One is in front of the classroom. The other person is pulling in small groups with assessed benchmarks and things. So I worked with a wonderful guy named Mr. Burke, and we did that for 10 years, and he unfortunately passed away in the middle of the school year. And 2 years later, it's kind of a funny story, but 2 years later, I thought Matt was going to be leaving the district. Turns out his partner was retiring, and I jokingly said, hey, can I come teach with you? Because we had known him because he was the feeder school for my high school.
Oh, yeah. Wait, are you serious? You're going to leave the high school and come down and teach middle school with me? Absolutely. Yeah.
That's the thing is, like, people think, oh, I'm moving up to high school or moving down. Like, it depends what you like, and I loved middle school, and I think I'm actually probably a better middle school teacher than I am a high school teacher. But so we have to kind of, I think, put that aside and say, moving up to college. No, it's a lateral movement. It depends what you want to do and what you like to do.
I love mentoring first, second, and third year teachers. I do that for the state of Illinois. So now I can authentically say I have started batches and batches of young, beginners instead of just like private lessons, which is a different story. Anyway, right. So I'm in my 19th year in public school. I'm 1,000 years older than all of that. I'll retire in about 5 years, and then I get to work with this amazing guy.
Yeah. I started my journey. I went to Illinois State for college, and they have a string project program at Illinois State that is like so amazing. I got to be in a group, like a classroom full of kids, starting my freshman year. And I was teaching small groups, and then I had a master teacher who was helping me navigate, like standing in front of a group and being talking to kids, and like even before I did any of my education classes. So then when I got to those education classes, that was like a game changer. And then I was able to be the lead teacher by my senior year of the capstone group of the string project. So I was doing lesson plans and communicating with parents and helping plan the concert, and I mean, like invaluable things before I even became a teacher.
When you have a string project at a university, it is a game changer in terms of your preparation, and that real world experience before you get out. Because if you go through college without that real world experience, you go and you
need a mentor
into the wild.
You need a mentor.
And I was so lucky. It was Dr. Kate Lewis and Adriana Ransom at ISU, and they were just like so caring, and just for us as their students, it was a great example of how to do that with my kids too. So
amazing.
Then I ended up student teaching in actually at Scullen.
Oh wow!
In this exact classroom with Lori Law, and she moved to Gregory Middle School in our same district. And so I was able to kind of weasel my way in. And this is my 11th year here at Scullen. So that's amazing. That's kind of my journey.
Very cool. Are you ready to shake up your next orchestra trip? Kaleidoscope Adventures has been planning performance travel beyond expectations for more than 30 years. They know the best destinations and the most iconic venues for orchestras. Check out the Kaleidoscope Adventures link in the show notes below for fresh ideas and inspiration. And then let them do their magic. They'll handle all the details from start to finish, so all you have to do is enjoy the experience.
Scullen is a split middle school. About 2/3 of our kids go to Wabansie Valley High School, where I used to teach, and a third or a little over a third go to Nequa. So it's kind of an interesting split situation, but we all loved having Matt down here as over here as our middle school feeder.
I think we say down because it's literally south of Wabansie.
Okay.
So, but it's not down.
Right. That makes sense. It's
actually more important if you think about it.
So you guys have been teaching together since 2023?
Yeah. So this is our third year.
Third year. Nice. And so tell us a little bit about you had mentioned some of the things that you guys do to like build that environment and that culture in your classroom, and how you kind of feed off each other. Tell us a little bit about how that's been working for you. Sounds fun. It sounds really fun.
I mean, Daryl comes with so much energy and all these great ideas and this background of things that are like, I don't have a lot of those strengths. So it's so cool not only to see her as like a sounding board for things for teaching, but also like she dreams real big, and then I can help with that dream. And it's really fun to, even just in class, we are constantly joking with each other while we're teaching and showing that we're having fun and that we enjoy each other's company. We can do that with our kids and help to foster that and
working with someone like him, like I don't know, I'll walk in one day and I'll be like, I'm going to do a thing, and I just like start doing something, and he'll pick up on it. So we have 6th grade, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd period, and we team teach that. For the first half of the year, we're in there with the kids. Second half of the year, one of us pulling. But I'll start in by doing some things, and all of a sudden by 7th grade, where he's in front of the kids and I'm pulling, he's taken my idea that I walked in that morning. He's amped it, completely changed it, added 4 slides to his things, and it's even bigger and better. So then game on for me. 8th graders come in. At the end of the day, I got to do what I did with the 6th graders. add what he did to it and then make it more mature for the 8th grade. Like we're constantly riffing off of each other.
Very cool.
And he's like super fast with a ChatGPT or a Gemini or researching something. I'll say something and he'll be like, oh, I just found 5 other resources for that. And I'm like, oh, huh. So he's just super fast on all that.
That's so great.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. When you have the kind of the yin and the yang, and then it just keeps going. And that's what great teaching and great collaboration is all about.
And we really know each other well too. So a lot of nonverbal communication happens while we teach, you know, and even just unspoken. Like if I come in and I'm dog tired from something that I had the night before, she will pick up a lot of my slack.
Yeah.
And then I know that if she comes in and she's having a little bit of a tired day, then it's my turn to return the favor. That
is a great collaboration, because everybody has, some days you have the energy, some days you have less. Right. And that's a fantastic. You guys have each other's backs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, literally. And we're so lucky to be doing this. I mean, and I know a lot of teachers who might be listening and they're like, I don't have a team teacher to work with, but you can have that same friendship and relationship with a band teacher or a chorus teacher or general music teacher. I mean, the partnership element of having a teacher best buddy is not, it can be anywhere within a department or a school. We're just super lucky that it's like our
same room. Yeah. Exactly the same thing. And I think it's difficult, I think, for some teachers to put aside their egos, and they're like, oh, we're competing for students, that kind, like it can be difficult for some teachers to do that. And when you can put those things aside, that's when everybody wins, and ultimately the kids win, and that's most important.
Yeah. And even when it gets down to like, if a kid has an issue, they have different personalities that they might connect with. Like a kid that might not be super my kid is really her kid, and vice versa.
Do you guys fight over kids?
No,
Okay.
I mean, it's just cool. Like he's Mr. Pokemon guy. So like kids who want to go do the little card thing with him, meet him after school. And then I'm the one who's going to remember, oh, your brother's in the hospital. Oh, tell me when's that going to, like they're just different personalities, and
that's
he's
fantastic.
Like cool big brother dad guy. And I'm like the mama. Let me take care.
Everything is needed. All of those things are needed.
All the things.
That's covering all the bases. That's awesome. That's awesome. And then, so do you have anything? I mean, I know you have your room decorated really cool. It looks like from the back. Could you tell us some of the things that you do for that part of the community, that structure you have?
That's one of my favorite things is our classroom. Actually, we are really proud of the decor that we have, because everything has a meaning or a story. We're really interested in our students seeing themselves in our classroom. So we have a whole bulletin board that says, see yourself as a musician, and it has pictures of every kind of musician. And we have our Diwali lanterns that were also part Lunar New Year lanterns. And we have a Ramadan banner in the back, and we have like every possible thing is represented, that any kid can come in. And if they don't see themselves, they know that they can either bring something that represents them, and we'll be super excited to add that to our space, or they can tell us, hey, I'm not really seeing that, and then work with us to try to find something. I think that's really important.
And I will say that our community is very diverse.
Yeah.
We have a lot of South Asian. That's not one. That can be, there's a lot of differences between Southern Indian and Northern Indian. And then we have a big Islamic temple nearby. And so we have just tons of different languages spoken here, tons of different people coming in and out. And yet we're teaching dead white guy music,
Yeah.
And, even today we were doing some holiday carols and we played, I don't know, Deck the Halls. And I asked, how many of you know this tune? And, this is something that I grew up with in my house from the time I was this big. And we have students who this is not part of their culture.
Right.
They don't sing these things. Now, once they play it, they're going to know it. So we try with everything that we do to make sure that we're talking about background, composer intent, try to show them ensembles of identity that might play that kind of music. We try very hard to have them see themselves in the music that they're playing.
And to see others, because I tell the story all the time that when I first started working here, I had never even heard of Diwali or half of the celebrations that now I get to join in with my students, and my life is so much more enjoyable. It's so much cooler now that my students have taught me about them, and I get to do that now with them. I get to celebrate with them.
That's really awesome. Yeah. It's like a new richness that your life has because of that.
We're also, we're very proud of our pedagogical knowledge, but there's all this other stuff that we cloak around it that makes the whole program work for the whole kid. So we established, was it beginning of last year, we started talking, this is something that came from my personal children. We're in a charter school about 15 years ago, and that charter school used to have the kids tracking what was called habits of mind. So now here in our orchestra program, we have the kids tracking their habits of mind. It's a score out of 24 or 28, 0 to 4, and you're telling us, are you remembering to say hello when you walk in and out of the room? Are you being kind? Matt's showing this up. If you're not looking at the screen, you want to read a couple of these off? It says
that'd be great. We'd love to hear them.
Yeah, I bring my binder and my instrument to every rehearsal. I get to my seat within a minute or two of the bell, and I'm actively tuning or practicing a little bit. I am helpful to those around me, always speaking kindly and respectfully. This is one of our favorites. I say hello and bye to Miss S and Mr. White without being prompted to do so. We have, like, as all the kids are leaving, some of them are like screaming goodbye to us. It's like a whole thing. And we've heard from other teachers that that's now like gone to the other parts of our building where they're walking in and saying hello and goodbye and thank you, and like things that like we're kind of missing, especially after COVID times.
Right. Yeah. It's an adjustment that students have to be able to make to kind of get back into the real world, I guess if you want to call it that. And
we're aware that these kids are walking in and out of 9 classrooms a day, right? So they have to be here. We have to be here. We could think of this as overpaid babysitting and, trapped in this situation. But what about making it positive and letting those kids know, we're so glad you're walking in our room. Yeah. And we're going to look at each one of you in your eye, and we're going to say hello to you with your name, and you matter to us.
Yeah.
And showing us that we matter to you can help make everything. And we also have all the signs around. It's okay to say I'm having a bad day. It's okay not to say hello. You can report back on your habits of mind. Yeah, I'm not so good at saying hello and goodbye. And then they usually will, because we ask them in their home practice guide reflections, hey, if you're getting less than 21 or 20 out of 24 on your habits of mind, let us know how we can help.
Right.
Can we help by initiating the hello to you? Will that help? Can we help by stopping the class at the beginning and, hey, everyone say hello to Mr. White. Now you've said hello, right?
Yeah.
So we try to help them out. They're 6th graders, 7th graders, 8th graders. We're trying to get it figured out.
Yeah. They're trying to figure things out. That's probably I would say that the toughest years of a lot of kids' lives. I mean, it was for me, dealing with everything that was going on in my life, and kids and mean people, and, trying to figure out everything. So it's
figuring out all the things.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's, the habits of mind stuff is something very important to us. And it's part of them knowing we care about them. And then of course, when we want to fix their second fingers or show them an extension or get their bows going straight, that's the musical and pedagogical sort of stuff we're doing. But all this other stuff makes all of that make sense.
Oh, it makes sense, but it also builds that trust, that the students have with you, and you may do something that they think is weird or wacky or whatever, and it's like, just trust me. I was doing the same thing today and working on. We had just done our concert last week, and there's some intonation things, so we're kind of like coming back to basics. We're working with the drone. We're like slowing things down, and the kids are like, they want to play the repertoire, and so I'm like, listen, you need to trust me that I'm doing this because it's going to make us better. And when we have our assessment in February, it's like, this is where our focus should be. And
Yeah.
so, and I think, and some of them were nodding, and high schoolers are a lot different than middle schoolers, as you know. But it's one of those things where if the students feel comfortable with you, they trust in you, they confide in you, you have good rapport, then you could pretty much do anything you want. And they will do anything that you want them to do, and
or at least it's a little easier to try to rope them along, right? Yeah.
Right. And obviously we're working on trying to create kids who are great humans, and I tell that at open house, and my parents just love that. But it's true. We're not here just to teach them the C sharps and the high threes and whatever it is. It's always try to make them into better people, because we know that 99% of our kids are not going to be in our profession or musicians. But if this is a tool or a way to get them to be better people and more responsible and collaborative and all these things that we teach, great.
We want auto mechanics that can hear beats. We want airline pilots
with
heart
really
surgeons.
steady fingers.
I tell a funny story. I used to tell it all the time in high school, but I tell it even in middle school. I said I have two former viola students who are both dental hygienists. And I point out dental hygienists have very, very sharp objects they stick in your mouth. One was a violist in my top group, and we went to, state competition in Oregon and all that sort of stuff. The other one never got to the top group because she played out of tune. And which one of them would you go to if you knew that information?
That's great. That is funny. But yes, it's true. I mean, it's our job to do that. Obviously, we want some of our students to be teachers and performers, and in the music industry, because we need people, and we need great people to take our jobs when we're done. But
well, yeah, and then we have so much push in our part of the world here to go to the AP classes and go into engineering and lawyers and doctors and these CS and AI and all that, but we keep pointing out to them that in the music class, and it starts the moment they come into our 6th grade classroom. You are no longer an independent entity. You have to learn how to play the instrument on your own. I can't jump into your body and move your finger, but you also have to learn how to play with all these other people. You have to learn to play with your stand partner, with your section, with the whole orchestra. And then, by the way, we put 2 classes together for the concert. But that's the same. You're never, unless you're going to go be a writer and live in a cabin in the woods, you're going to work on a team. You're going to be a boss. You're going to be led. You're going to have to take initiative. You're going to have to be able to follow. You're going to have to do all those different things. And we do all of that here in music.
And a lot of kids don't realize that they're getting these skills. And I continuously remind them of, if you're thinking about quitting, well, listen, first off, I write a pretty good college recommendation. And if you're with me for 4 years, that says something, and then 2, all these skills, you don't even realize that how valuable they are. And you have no idea right now. And what's going to separate you from everybody else is going to be that you've had these experiences and other people may not have.
Right. And those connections and that inspiration also is really important. I'm going to ask Matt to tell the rabbit story, because he has kids who are now out of college who still stay in touch with him because of a rabbit.
Yeah, I really like finding ways to build culture and connect with students. So when I was a freshman in high school, my English teacher did this thing every first of the month where she would say rabbit, rabbit, rabbit. And it's like a British superstition that if you say rabbit, rabbit, rabbit on the first of the month, it's supposed to bring you really good luck for the month.
Okay.
And so I shared that with my kids, and then it got to be this thing where instead of I say it on the first thing, I'm saying it to as many people as I can, in hopes to just spread luck and kindness and things. Yeah. And it really took on a mind of its own, about 4 years ago or so. And kids in the hallway are just yelling it at me. And then former students who have graduated are sending emails at midnight on the first of the month to be the first person to say rabbit, rabbit, rabbit. It is
that
so
is
cool.
Awesome. Yeah.
And then you come on the first day of the month, you come to school, and everybody is so excited to see you so that they can be a part of the Rabbit Rabbit Club. And it's a fun way to get everybody involved.
Yeah, it sounds like it builds a lot of excitement, and just positivity.
And it's cool to hear from these kids that I haven't seen or heard from really in, years.
Yeah.
And all they want to do is say, hey, it's good to chat with you for a second. Rabbit, rabbit, rabbit. Hope you have a great month. That's all I need.
There's nothing better than keeping up with students that, you've taught and now they've gone on to do this or that, it's just neat to see where they go. One of my favorite things about teaching.
Agreed.
Me too.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. I know that you guys are also big into improv and that kind of thing. And or now Matthew has become big into that. Do you guys implement that in your classroom regularly?
Yes, and yeah, for sure. So my background, I'm classically trained, but I played in rock bands, and my husband's in Turtle Island String Quartet. So I used to do a lot of improv workshops and stuff when I used to be on the road. And when I went into the schools 19 years ago, I figured for sure that I'd be one of those people who, had these huge electric groups and stuff. But what I learned in the schools was I had to focus my time on learning how to be a really good high school orchestra director. And the pop stuff and improvisation sort of stuff came secondary for a long time.
Okay.
At Laux, I did write a couple grants. We got some electric instruments. We had an after-school group that did some improv. It was a lot of fun.
Nice.
And coming down here, I know Matt's a really strong player, but he had never played on a 5-string. He had not done a lot of improvisation, but he's a total natural. So
nice.
I think my first year here, I had a friend of mine come into town, and I shared with him the side of me where I play with singer-songwriters. And so she was coming into town, and you heard me practicing, just making stuff up. And every now and then he'd hop in, and I'm like, dude. So he started, so it started really actually and I love how organic it is. I mean, we were doing it some with our kids, and he's seen me do a lot of this clinicky sort of stuff with our kids, but he, as a musician, started to learn how to do some improvisation for him, also fell in love with a 5-string, which is my beloved instrument as well. So now that we're both really into it, it's a lot more organic in our program. So
cool.
Don't do a ton of it in our curricular orchestras. We sort of sprinkle it, but we do have a before school group that does electric instruments and improvisations. And when we had our concert last year, we had a couple guest artists come and play with us, and the kids did some improvisations. I was thrilled and delighted because the middle schoolers don't have as much of that stuff as the high schoolers. Like the high schoolers get embarrassed if they play something wrong.
Right.
Middle schoolers could care less.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. If they start doing that early on, then mistakes become not a big deal.
Right.
But if they've never done it and then you're asking them to do it when they're in high school, oh boy, it's a lot harder. So I try to implement a little bit, but it is definitely not easy, and kids are very timid and afraid to branch out, And I grew up. That's how I grew up. I did not improvise. If I didn't have something to read, I did not play my instrument, for the most part, unless it was scales and arpeggios. But everything else, there was a paper in front of me, and that's
your paper trick.
Yeah, and now I've learned a lot since then, and I've had some great colleagues that have taught me a lot about different things, and got inspiration from like Chris Howes and other people that just shred and do it without music, and that's a whole part of music that a lot of kids don't understand.
Well, and a lot of teachers are scared of it because they don't allow themselves to do the exploration themselves. You have, Bob Phillips often talks about how with his fiddlers, the Celine fiddlers, he was a bass player, and he played mandolin and guitar, and he would get them going, and he would often say the kids would pick up on it and then lead, and he didn't have to do much. I didn't believe him. He did a lot. But so that's one approach, which is you give the kids the tools, you share the resources, you get some of it going, and then you have kids who go off with it. But it can also be really, really effective when the teacher knows what to do. Yeah. Go to one of these summer workshops, go to your ILMEA, your MEA, your ASTA, NAFME convention, go and take a beginning improv class, figure something out, do it for yourself as a musician, and then bring it to your kids and go, oh my gosh. So Matt and I will be like, hey guys, last 5 minutes of class, go put your stuff away. We want to play something for you.
Cool.
And then they're seeing us be artists and musicians, which we find, it's not only
gives us a little street cred too. Because then when I'm saying, hey, you got to do that,
Yeah.
they've seen me like, oh, I do know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. When I started my position 4 years ago, my predecessor was there a long time, did great things, but wasn't necessarily the strongest string player and brass player actually.
Yeah.
But my kids were really kind of surprised and I guess I don't know if it was grateful, but just like, wow, like he does know how to play. He does. So that does help with street cred. It does help with your just the kids trusting. Again, it's that trust issue of
course. But I will say, no shade on. There are some phenomenal directors.
I'm not saying anything bad about that at all. But
of course. Yeah. And then you can always hire people to come in. I mean, in Oregon, I got my parent booster group to come up with a $6,000 budget so that 4 weeks out of each concert cycle, I would bring in the local private teachers to come and work with the kids. I'm not the world's best bass or cello player. So why have me struggling with a grade 3 cello part where I can barely get the extensions? I'd rather bring in a local cello teacher to come and work with them. And so, I think that, I don't want anyone listening to feel bad.
No. I mean, like you said, there are some super fine, amazing programs, teachers out there, and they're not string specialists or string majors, if you want to call it, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, it's amazing what if they put me in the opposite field and maybe go teach band, I would be in a world of hurt, or chorus, a world of hurt.
No kidding. But there are all those unicorns. We have a colleague who teaches, she's right there as assistant band director and an orchestra director as well. She played bass in the band at her college, so that helped.
Yeah.
Right. And then if you've got a good program, you did those bass technique classes and wind technique classes. And, I didn't have the advantage of that because I kind of went.
You did the alternative route.
I went through.
Yeah, for sure. Wow, this is cool. And then I noticed behind you, you don't have chairs with backs. Tell us a little bit about that.
Of mine.
And how many complaints did you get when you first started doing that?
So amazingly little. Just the 8th graders are like, hey, where's the back? So Matt's holding the back of our chairs. We literally sawed the back off the chairs, and he's holding a back that says, we have your back.
Nice.
Last year, I played around with this. I have a yoga ball in my room, and I think 3rd or 4th year of teaching, I wrote a grant and I got 4 big yoga balls, and I had my honor string quartet play on the yoga balls just to have that ability to move organically. And it was kind of goofy. It didn't work as well for the cellist, but the other 3 liked it. And I got here and we have these awful Wenger chairs with a little hump in the middle, and you can only sit right there. And I remember from high school, I'd come down to middle schools and be like, oh, these chairs are the worst. So we were like talking with our principal last year, and I said, could we get those nice science stools? But they're like $65 each.
Sure.
And he's like, expensive, and we've got other things we need to do. And I looked at Matt and I looked at our Wenger chairs and I said, do you think we could just saw off the backs?
And that's when I said, yes, just give me a day to find the right tool to do this.
That is amazing. And there's people out there that are cringing right now, like, you took an expensive chair.
Oh, yeah.
But, you got to do what works for you. So what have you found? What did the kids say when they first came in? Like, what happened to the backs?
Yeah, exactly. And then we got a couple stools as well, too. But I'll tell you, we had our 6th grade concert last week, and they were sitting on folding chairs, and I noticed how terrible all of a sudden they go slumping down. Their backs were on the back.
Folding chairs are the worst.
Yes.
They're the worst.
They're the worst.
This is
so great.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Nothing's in your way. I don't know why every orchestra in the world doesn't use stools.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Great. So you've noticed a big difference in your students' posture, ability to move while they play, and
swivel.
Like turn and talk to your neighbor. You can turn all the way around. It's great.
They're not swivel. They're just regular chairs, but they can swivel their butts in them.
Just move your.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I think the number one killer of really good shoulder position posture is the music stand.
Yes.
And a lot of kids, you set up your chairs and kids think, oh, I have to sit straight like I'm sitting in my chair right now. And then that instrument comes to the front and now they're playing like Frankenstein in front of you rather than with it on their shoulder. So
absolutely. No, I always say when I'm conducting youth orchestra or, or anything, we say, listen, the chairs are put there arbitrarily. You have agency over your body. You need to move the chair, move your body, scroll goes towards the stand. I mean, you just have to show them, like if your instrument's off to the left and your eyes are forward and then you look to the left, you can't see your music anymore.
Yeah.
So those are part of the learning how to play things.
Yeah, I love it. It's just like a really forward approach to taking care of a problem that's and then the other thing that you had written down is that you have these calendars that you make.
Oh yeah.
These you belong, you do something, you be curious calendars, and you sent some examples.
Yeah. So each year we have 3 themes that we might just rotate them for a while. I had started those.
I think it started with us just kind of talking about how we are very curious people. Yeah. When we get something new, we're going to like dive into it and we're going to just immerse ourselves into it and just be curious. Life is better when you're curious. And Daryl had this awesome idea of coming up with like a month-long theme and having the kids interact with that calendar throughout the month. And so we started that first year was Be Curious. And each month had like a different topic that we wanted the kids to delve into a little bit more.
Be curious about how your instrument is made was one month. Be curious about alternative styles. Be curious about classical composers. And so each day or every other day or so, we have a link in the thing and
a question to ponder on, and then by the end of the month, there's a reflection question that the student will answer, and we like to give like stickers and prizes and things. So if they participate in that, then they get that little positive reward, and then the next month there's something new to be curious about. And then we got to the end of that first school year, and like the curious thing was cool, but all the 6th and 7th graders that moved to 7th and 8th grade, they had already seen that.
Right. So now you have to do something else.
Now we needed a new one. And so we decided that after you're curious, you have to take that and you have to go do something. So our second theme was do something. So it was go out and I think our December one was the only like non-musical one. It was get things for a snowman and bring something. That one was cute. Was fun. That was more like do something to practice. And there were a bunch of different practice strategies or incentives to take your instrument out that month. And
play for a relative.
Yeah.
Record yourself. Like go do something. Go see a concert. You know. And then this year, after Be Curious and Do Something, our district came up with the You Belong. And we thought, oh, wait a minute.
That's cool. We can do that. Yeah.
We can do that. So first month was showing them all prodigies. Oh. Like, look at these videos of kids your age, literally your age, who've got about 10,000 more hours of time on than you.
Actually, the thing that prompted that is we had a student that was at our sister middle school who won a competition and played a piano concerto with the Chicago Symphony Orchestra.
Wow.
And so like some of our students knew that student.
Yeah.
And so that was the launching board for us to be like, this is this kind of thing. Yeah. There are lots of cool kids out there doing cool things just like you. So,
and one of the months I think November was ensembles of identity. Here, take a look at the National Arab Orchestra. Take a look at the Berkeley Indian Ensemble. Look at the Women's Philharmonic. And then one of the questions we challenged the kids, if you want to get your prize, if you could create an ensemble of identity, what would you create? What would the name of it be? And
what kind of music
like? So one kid wanted the curly haired.
Only starting with S's. Yeah.
Get a Pokemon orchestra
that is funny.
That only played gaming music. Yeah.
But fun. You got some creative things that were just like,
very, very
that's amazing. That's
amazing.
And
actually with those calendars, we learned that one of the after school groups for our school loved our calendars so much that they shared our calendars with their advisors, and now their advisors are doing similar type things with their group.
I'm sure people are going to steal your ideas and start doing that in their classrooms, and that's the whole point of the podcast.
That's right.
We share them.
We're stealing so much from you,
Yes.
so we're happy to
Yes.
give some.
We shared those resources with you, so you can share those with them.
Okay, great.
Okay.
I'll probably have to make a special page on the website or something like that, if that's okay.
Yay.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll definitely share those. And then you have some like special projects you do with each grade, like 6th grade. You said you make all about me slides. Are those just PowerPoint slides that you have the kids make?
Yep.
I think a lot of us know how to do that, or we just ask the kids to put, where are you from, what are your interests, and we give them, by 6th grade, they've already learned how to use Google Slides in their elementary school, so they're pretty respectful. They're also taking an essential tech class at the same time, so let them show off their tech skills, and we get to celebrate that. Actually, that's a project that I used to do with the 9th graders up at the high school so that I could get to know them.
Yeah.
Same kind of thing.
Yeah, I did a Padlet. I don't know if you know Padlet. I did a Padlet this year. Make everybody introduce themselves on Padlet, tell me what they play, and then what they like to do, their favorite foods, and we get some things in common,
And we literally just opened one of those again yesterday. Like, no lie. And we're like, oh, I wonder, he shared something about that and it's all about me. And we were able to go back and like get that information again.
That's great.
Yeah. And then in 7th grade, we do Matt. This used to be something they sort of used to do in 6th grade, but Matt being Matt amped it up crazy good in 7th grade. It's a cultural melodies project.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Starts it out by taking them down to the, you explain, down the LMC.
With the students go down to the LMC, and the library director helps them start a research project. They get to choose what they're going to identify with. So it could be a religious culture, it could be a family culture, it could be however they decide to do that. Then they're going to research that and the music and how that all interacts with the culture. And then they get to pick a melody. And they work with me in Note Flight, and they write the melody out not only for themselves, but then they learn how to transpose it into all the other instruments. So then it's the melody that comes from them, and that they can go and share with their family. And really awesome stories of like surprise playing for their mom or something like that.
There were some tears.
Yeah,
That's so good.
It's also so cool to then have a packet at the end of the quarter that has this entire, I have a book for each year that I've done this, and it's like the cultural melodies of the 7th grade of 2025.
Wow, yeah.
And then everybody has everyone else's melody and in the music that they can read. And then we just spend like the 2 weeks before break sight reading all the different melodies and sharing.
I bet that's fun. Like the kids love it, and they learn,
And then personal too. You're not learning
right.
somebody else's thing.
Right.
You're picking something that didn't one of the kids from Puerto Rico chose a Bad Bunny too, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, right?
Yep.
I was like, whoa, okay. Here we go.
Why not?
And then somebody will like pick a song and they're like, that's my mom's favorite song, so then they get to take that and go share it with their family. It's a really rewarding project.
Yeah.
It's cool to see the kids do that.
And then in 8th grade, I do my orchestra journey project, having them encapsulate their 3 years in middle school. Because like you said, many of them do or don't continue on. I used to do this in 9th grade, where I'd have them write a letter to themselves as a senior and look back at who they were as a 6th grader. Now that I'm here in middle school, I have the 8th graders looking at back. Why did you choose that instrument back in 6th grade? What did you learn in 6th grade? How was it different in 7th grade? What did you learn now in 8th grade? And try to have them pull it all together. And it's pretty meaningful even for the kids who are not going to continue on in high school. And we know that they have, they make like a Google Slides portfolio. And I know that stays in their drive through their senior year. So I'm hoping that they'll look back on it.
Yeah.
Too.
That's very fun. How many students are in your program?
A little over 250.
Okay. Good number. And then you have how many classes per day?
So we have 3 periods of 6th grade, 2 periods of 7th grade, and 2 periods of 8th grade. And so that's 7 total periods, and we have 9 periods of our school.
You have a 9-period day.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, 10 period.
One for the
A little period.
And then we have our kids can all do what's called combo. Our kids can choose to be in chorus and orchestra, or band and orchestra.
No,
band and chorus, sorry.
Yeah.
Yep.
Combo kids see us every other day.
Yep.
So
Okay. That's hard. That's a little bit challenging, I guess, sometimes. Yeah.
a little bit.
There's a lot of review then that happens, but that's good for everybody involved.
Yeah.
So it ends up working out.
And when we work with them in technique, we love our chorus teacher. He's amazing. So I say, use your chorus brain. I say to them, if you are a combo kid, your intonation should be far better.
You're singing, yeah.
Singing every day.
Yeah.
And then
so they're not able to play two instruments.
Right.
Yeah, we have that a lot here too, where they can do chorus and orchestra, chorus and band, but not band and orchestra.
Correct.
It's a lot. It's a lot to take on two instruments.
Yeah, it's too much. But one of our sister up in St. Charles again, I'm mentoring a young lady she's got 4 different things. There's orchestra only. There's orchestra with the chorus kids. There's orchestra with the band kids, and there's orchestra with the orchestra and the band. I mean, she has 4 different seating charts that they rotate through. Makes my head.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Yes.
And so tell us about your grant writing. You said you got grants to get some instruments. Do you have any secrets that you can share with us about?
GPT.
Okay. It's helped, right? For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You use Chatter Gemini you stick the rubric in there and you stick the questions in there and you write a whole bunch about what you're interested in and you ask it to line stuff up and then you take the M dashes out and rewrite half of it.
Right. Right.
I find that AI is so helpful for me as a writer because I can word vomit. I can put all my thoughts down. And I have a hard time with just making it sound cohesive and look nice.
Yeah.
So if I can just say all of the material that I need to be in the response, I'm thinking of all of the right answers. I'm saying why I want this grant funding and why it's going to be used. And I have the idea. Gemini or whatever.
Just make it sound pretty.
Yeah, exactly. They tie the bow on it for me.
Yeah.
So
I mean, go ahead.
Sorry?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, sorry, what?
I was going to say, I use it for my podcast descriptions, and I'll take the video, create an audio file, upload the audio file. It creates a transcript of everything. I spit that in there. I said, make me an episode description based upon the transcription, and it covers all the bases of what we've talked about, and it does a really good job.
Matt has not only a master's in technology, instructional technology, but he's also on an AI task force for our district. So he taught me a lot about this. We just had a 6th grade concert and the reflections, and he said, hey, check your email. He took the kids' responses, shoveled it into Gemini, and Gemini said, these are what the kids are saying about this. And I mean, it was so
just summarized all of the responses. And
nice.
So it was really easy to synthesize as the teacher then, this is what I can read through all the responses, and I tend to
we do.
because it's fun.
Sure.
But just to get that snapshot of this is what this is talking about was really
it's like crunching the data for you.
Well, and back to the grant writing, we have the Illinois Education Association. Most of these states have if you have an association, they offer these $500 to $1,000 grants. So we started writing for our early morning Carnatic Hindustani group, and they have funded us twice. And we after we did the big check presentation, we were talking to the lady from the Illinois Education Association. I said, I asked her, can we do this? Can we keep? She said, you can apply every year. And because there's 2 of us, I'll do it one year, he'll do it the next. And as long as it grows a little bit each year, we're hoping, because we have this local guru who runs an academy, and she comes in and she has that authentic Carnatic knowledge. We translate it into Western notation and add violas and cellos and basses and put it in D major. Sorry. She cringes a little bit, but we get it done. But, the school district's not going to pay for her to do that. Right. I'm not of Indian descent and Carnatic training. So having an outside entity help us bring her here is such a gift. Yeah. So there's local, Arts Foundation grants that Matt wrote a big one for all the instruments. Another one, a friend of
a private one.
We have a private one. We got iPads for all of the principal stands and Fourscore. So we called it the future of sheet music, right?
Yeah.
So this year we saved the district a lot of money on not copying as much music this year because the kids are pull out their Chromebooks, or if they're in the front stand, they have the iPads. And now a bunch of our kids bring their iPads.
Yeah, that's
they
amazing.
Went home and got Foursquare on their own personal iPad and organized their whole binder into their iPad.
Yeah,
and then they just bring
it's
that
the
to
best. I have not used paper scores in
really
a long time. Probably, I mean, I use them when I have to, when I'm sight reading or something. But if we're performing, I think it's been at least 10, 15 years. I mean,
Wow.
yeah, I'm pretty forward with technology, so
Okay.
I love my iPad and I love having all the scores. And
Are
then
are your kids there?
no, unfortunately,
See?
yeah,
So
that's where I need to go.
Well,
Yeah.
so, we wrote the grant to have the front row. We wrote another grant to get the second row. We'll see if we get it. And I was talking to our fine arts supervisor. He said he doesn't see a world in which our entire district will get iPads for the kids, but there might be a district approved, one of those like Lenovo, like yoga
a laptop that you can turn into a tablet.
So
yeah.
I think the future in our program is going to be eventually, and then, I know many years ago, there were people who were trying to do those things where the conductor pushes it out.
Yes.
It's all
I know Harry Connick Jr. did that a long time ago with his which is pretty cool, when it's like, it turns the pages for you. It just goes, yeah. But,
yeah. So if you're a young teacher and you're listening to this podcast, my guess is in the future, there's going to be no paper, and there's going to be a way to have all these kids on pads eventually.
And it's also an accessibility thing. We have students who need their music blown up and enlarged, and they can scan through that with the foot pedal and not have to turn a bunch of pages. It is so great.
Yeah.
And for so many reasons.
However, I still sometimes lick my finger before touching the page.
That's why the iPad is wet.
That's funny. That's so great. So great.
Try to push it off.
Well, it's been super fun to chat with you tonight, and thank you so much for being a part of the podcast and sharing all that you've shared. I will put your contact info into the description if people want to contact you, if they have questions, because there's a lot of teachers out there that are team teaching or co-teaching and maybe not getting along the same way that you guys are, or having that the ability to just work as collaboratively as you guys do. So I think you guys have a great model and a great system going on, and this is fantastic, and I'm glad that you're able to kind of change up the podcast.
We are lucky. We have a district that supports it too. So.
Right. Well, that's important too. But this is fantastic, and I just appreciate you guys being on here today.
Well, we're a little fans of Dr. Laux here because we've been following your stuff for ages.
Yeah, you're kind of a celebrity in our classroom.
That's so funny. Well, I'd love to come up sometime. That would be great. That would be a good time.
we tune with you every day.
That's right.
Oh wow! Yay!
Sixth graders know your bow stuff really well.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah. Well, I'm glad I could help. But it's just a pleasure to chat with you, and I hope to see you guys at Midwest. Maybe.
Yep.
Fantastic.
We're in the Orchestra. Come and see us. Chicagoland Educator Orchestra that Frank Lestina and Brian Miller run.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. So we'll be there on the Wednesday afternoon. So hope to see you there.
Yes. Well, for everyone in the Orchestra Teacher Podcast, we will close our episode number 122 with Daryl and Matthew. Thank you so much again for being here, and we will see you all next time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening. You can support the work I do by hitting that like button and subscribing to the Orchestra Teacher Podcast YouTube channel and visiting www.orchestrateacher.net.